Hello, I'm Tom Watts with the BBC News. The founder of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX has been released by a New York court after agreeing bail set at $250 million. Sam Bankman-Fried will also have to stay at his parents' California home, awaiting trial on fraud charges. Samira Hussein reports from New York.
Sam Bankman-Fried will be in home detention, spending that time with his parents in California. Now, remember, both his parents are law professors at Stanford University here in the United States. He has had to surrender his passport, and he is also going to subject himself to location monitoring. You know, in some ways, this is kind of what his defense team wanted. He was never granted bail while he was in the Bahamas. So his defense team was really hoping that they would perhaps be able to be successful in getting him bail while in the United States.
A former vice president of the European Parliament, who's at the centre of a corruption scandal, has been told she must remain in custody for another month. A court in Brussels rejected a call by Eva Kaili to be released on bail. Grant Ferret reports.
Eva Kaili was hoping to get bail. One of the four who's been charged has been released on bail. Two, including her husband, have been held in custody. She went into court and insisted again that she was innocent. She offered to be released with an electronic bracelet. This is one of these things which would mean that people could tag her wherever she was. But it seems that the court has refused. Now, bear in mind, this is a woman who's renowned for living a somewhat flashy lifestyle, so she will be spending Christmas behind bars.
Paul Moss with that report. Predominantly Muslim countries, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey and the Gulf states, have criticised the decision by the Taliban government in Afghanistan to stop women attending universities. The Saudi Foreign Ministry said Afghanistan should abide by Islamic principles regarding women's rights. The Taliban have sought to justify the move, saying women were not observing the Islamic dress code. A group of United Nations experts says it's found evidence Rwanda has engaged in military operations in eastern Congo, including assisting the M23 rebel group. The findings back up the Congolese president's assertion that Rwanda has been supporting the rebels, which the Kigali government denies. Will Ross reports.
A leaked report by the UN experts highlights the brutality of the conflict in eastern Congo. It says in areas controlled by M23 rebels, there's been pillaging, theft, extortion, torture, rape and killings. The experts found evidence that the Rwandan armed forces provided troop reinforcements to help these rebels seize towns earlier this year. The Congolese army is also heavily criticised. The report says during its fight back against the M23 group, Congolese soldiers worked with various rebels, including at times the FDLR, which is linked to the 1994 genocide in Rwanda.
World News from the BBC. The US Senate has approved a huge government spending programme with strong bipartisan support. The bill is worth nearly $1.7 trillion. It includes increased defence spending as well as another $45 billion of support for Ukraine. The spending package needs the approval of the House of Representatives before midnight on Friday to avoid a shutdown of the US federal government. The United States says North Korea has supplied battlefield missiles and rockets to the Russian mercenary group Wagner for use in Ukraine. The Biden administration said the shipment violated UN Security Council resolutions, as Barbara Plett-Usher reports from Washington.
The White House does not believe the alleged North Korean arms shipment would change battlefield dynamics in Ukraine. But the National Security Council spokesman, John Kirby, said the U.S. was concerned that Pyongyang planned to send more military equipment, which violated UN resolutions. He said the Biden administration would raise the matter in the UN Security Council and that it would sanction the Wagner Group. He also said the mercenary army was very active in Ukraine and was emerging as a rival power center to the Russian military.
The jailed former president of Peru, Pedro Castillo, has asked for an urgent meeting with members of the Inter-American Commission for Human Rights who are visiting the country. The delegation has been to Lima and Cusco to assess the violent response to anti-government protests. The unrest began 2 weeks ago when Mr. Castillo was ousted and detained for attempting to dissolve Congress. The lower house of the Spanish Parliament has passed a transgender rights bill that will allow anyone aged 16 and over to change gender on their national identity card. The bill has split Spain's left-wing government and its feminist movement. It will make Spain one of the few countries to allow people to change their officially registered gender by filling out an official form. Some women's rights activists are vehemently opposed to the prioritising of gender over physical sex. That's the BBC News.